Amanda Wilton, and I'm a member of the viola section of the Delta Symphony. So we're going to talk a little bit about the viola today. So the viola, we play it on our shoulder. So it kind of looks like a violin, but it's not. As you can see, it's really big. And it has a lower string that the violin does not. It's actually the same string as the cello, but one octave higher. This is our lowest note, the C. Isn't that beautiful? The lowest note of the viola. And then we can play pretty high also. So there's the full range of the viola is really beautiful, and it's a really singing voice. I have one passage of music here to play for you. It's from Ernest Bloch's Meditation. Just one line of music here. It shows you how singing and beautiful the full range of the viola is. So as you can see, it's a very singing type of voice, and that's why I love playing the viola.
What's the difference between a violin and a viola?
It is a little bit bigger than the violin. It plays a different role in the orchestra. It's my favorite instrument to play, more than the violin. But as you can see, it's kind of like the big sister to the violin. It has a deeper, lower voice. If you're familiar with like singing in a choir at school or in church, it's kind of like the violin is the soprano, the higher voice women, and the alto is like the lower voice women. So it has a really nice inner voice to the rest of the string family. So to make sound on the viola is the same as the rest of the bowed string family. That's why we're called a family. We have our bow, which is made out of a very exotic wood from Brazil. And then we have horsehair. This comes from Mongolia. And let's see, if I loosen the bow a little bit, you can see it's kind of like the tail of a horse. So we tighten that up. And when we pull that across our 4 strings, we get a beautiful singing tone. So it's kind of like our paintbrush. We can make these most beautiful sounds and all different types of sound to express ourselves and to express the music that's on the page. The 4 strings, back in the day, they used to be made out of animal intestines, dried out. They really make a nice strong rope kind of thing. And now today, we need to have a stronger sound to be part of the orchestra, competing against things like the trumpet and those heavy brass and percussion, right? And the big concert hall when we play at Riceland. We need to have a loud projecting voice in our strings, so instead of using, like back in the day, those gut strings, which were very soft, we use metallic, different types of metal, like silver and other types of metal. It's a very thin piece of metal, like a ribbon, that wraps around a synthetic core or even a steel core for some of the larger instruments. So that's what they're made out of. They're actually metal strings. Our bow is a bit like a paintbrush. We can express ourselves in different ways with it and use it to do very long singing strokes, or very short, or staccato we call it. And sometimes we can get the bow to bounce, which is really fun. So it's kind of a fun little bouncy stroke with the bow. Another technique we use on string instruments, like the viola, is called pizzicato. It kind of looks like the word pizza, but not. It's pizzicato, which is Italian for pluck. So we pluck our strings a little bit, almost like the guitar would, but it has a different tone. It's very ringing. Sorry, I had to get that one. We also have harmonics, are something we play, and it has to do with the science of sound. When we cut the string in half, dividing the string in half, if I place my finger right in the center of the string, the exact halfway point between the bridge and the nut, which is all over there, you can almost reach it, it makes the pitch go, it jumps one octave. So this is an A, and this is another A. It also kind of sounds spooky, like especially the lower string, the C string, sounds kind of spooky. Some parts of the viola we have here, we have the bridge. This is actually not glued down, it's not nailed down. There's nothing holding it up except for the tension of the strings. So this is our bridge. It holds up the string, or the strings rather, hold it up. And it helps to bring the sound into the sound box. So this part of the viola and any of the string family is just a sound box. It's a hollow instrument and it has these F holes. The sound then can transfer into there and it swirls around and then comes out the F holes. So when we're making sound with the bow or we're plucking, that's how the bridge helps to function to get that sound out. Then you can see I've got these little knobs here. These are fine tuners, so I make sure that my strings are at an exact pitch. I have a C, G, D, and an A string on the viola, and these help me get just a little bit of tuning in. And then up here at the top, these are called pegs. It's also for tuning, but this is a bigger job. And again, these are just held with tension. They're wedged in here. There's not a lot of technology going on here. For violin and viola, since we play it on our shoulder, we need to have a nice setup here to get it into position. We have this chin rest, and on the back, this is called a shoulder rest. So this thing we have to take off when we put it away in the case, but then we put it back on. So that helps to conform it to my shoulder to play, and for my chin to hold it there. So I almost don't even need any hands. Look, Mom, no hands. So that's a really important part to have for both the violin and the viola. Another technique for the viola is called double stops, and you'll hear that a lot in folk music and fiddle tunes. And I have a short little piece here, which is kind of a combination of a fiddle tune and classical music, but it'll show you double stops, which is playing on more than one string at the same time, like that. So I'm going to play this short little example from a Mark O'Connor piece called Appalachia Waltz. So part of making really beautiful sound on a string instrument, besides making great tone with your bow, is with your left hand, and it's called vibrato. So if we don't do vibrato, we get a straight tone. Then for vibrato, we just wiggle our fingers a little bit to make a vibration. I'm actually kind of bending the pitch a little bit. And it makes it really similar to the human voice, like an opera singer. You get a little bit of a warble in there, but it's really beautiful and it makes the music come to life even more. just play that with a straight tone. It's hard for me not to do it because it really enhances the sound and just makes it very, very beautiful. So thank you for listening to us about the viola, my favorite instrument, and come and see us play with the Delta Symphony.
I hope you enjoyed this video about the instruments of the orchestra. If you like this one, please check out our other videos and give us a like and subscribe to our channel.